bodies. A very happy Monday to you, and I hope all is well. As usual, my normal spiel. If you are new here, I'm very grateful to have you, and I'm very happy to have you and welcome you to my weekly reading. What we do on a Monday is I do a reading for the week ahead based on what general energies we have, what's going on around us, and I try to give some guidance or some action in terms of what we can do to make the most of the week. All right, if you are not new here, very welcome back, and thank you for all your love and support and continuous reinforcement, and yes, just some of the people that I've made such good friends with and stuff over the years. I really do appreciate you being here. All right, so here we have Kyle Gray's new deck of cards, well, relatively new. It's called the Gateway of Light Activation. All right, with artwork by Jennifer Hawkwood, sorry. Very interesting cards. They're going to bring up some different concepts potentially, and it's once again looks like I've never cleaned here, but I promise you it's just the tiniest specks of dust that come up on this particular thing, and it's just, I cannot see them with the naked eye. It's crazy. All right, so we're going to see what this week ahead holds, and we're going to see how this deck of cards works with this, because it is an oracle deck, so it's not a tarot deck, and every card will have its own particular meaning that is done by the creator of this deck of cards. All right, so I'm going to see if we can just get the general energy of the week ahead. I don't know if anyone else has noticed the energy is a little bit strange. We do have Scorpio energy around us and Taurus energy, and that can be, you know, they can both be very strong-willed and bring up a lot of antagonistic kind of energy, or just feeling like everything's all over the place. So try to breathe through it and be patient and just mindful of this will pass. You know, energies need to shift, and sometimes when they shift, that's a really good thing for us. All right, so let's see. Can I please have a card to give me an indication of what the general energy of the week ahead is? I've never used these cards, so please bear that in mind. Okay, Hathor light codes, light immersion and full system upgrade, power recall. Very interesting. All right, so Hathor is, she's got these ears because she's very much associated with the symbolism of the cow or the calf, and that often shows a lot of stability. It shows wealth and abundance. She's just that nurturing kind of energy. She's also a representation of fertility. So this is about immersing ourselves in light, and it's talking about a full system upgrade. So this could be an upgrade in terms of your spiritual growth in whatever it is that you're busy working with now. It's telling us that there's information and energies coming in that can be very helpful, very constructive for us. Okay, and it's a power recall. What that refers to is when we call our power back to us, literally. If we feel like at any point in our lives we've given our power away to somebody else, or we've allowed someone to take advantage of us, or we found ourselves in a vulnerable position at any point, this is a time where you're being brought to notice that you actually can say, I pull my power back to me now. I don't allow anybody to take from me. And we're seeing a lot of this happening in the world with people who have been taken advantage of, who have had situations where they have been in vulnerable positions, and they're now taking their power back. All right, so you can literally lie in bed at night and say, I draw all my power back to me. Any power that I did not willingly give in service to others, or because I wanted to do something for that person, any power that was taken from me, anybody who was particularly draining and knew they were draining on me, I take that power back now. And it's a very, pardon the pun, but it's a very empowering exercise to do. And just imagine all these little particles of light coming back to you that belong to you, that you take back from that person or that thing or that situation. Don't allow it to have power over you, especially if it's something from the past. Maybe a terrible job situation you found yourself in, maybe a terrible relationship, maybe a situation where you were taken advantage of, or maybe you were physically hurt by somebody. you know, all of these kind of things. It's saying this is the time for you to take your power back, to love and nurture yourself, to make sure you're taking care of what you would term your home, which is your body, the vessel that you have, that you can protect and you can nurture. And just because someone has taken advantage before doesn't mean that that always has to have power over you. And especially things from the past. Once it's past, it has passed, and you can call your power back. Okay? It can be very difficult for us to get to that point. We need to mentally prepare ourselves sometimes, but we can do that. And this is saying full system upgrade. I'd like to actually see how long the write-ups are in the book quickly. Like I say, this is a very new book to me, a very new deck of cards to me. But I'd like to see if there's anything that kind of stands out. Hathor light codes. In this gateway, Hathor is the figurehead of an intergalactic race of beings called the Hathors. That's up to your own interpretation, okay? This deck of cards does talk about a lot of intergalactic beings. A lot of this kind of thing has been spoken about lately. Whether you think they are just energies or physical beings, whatever that is, whether you believe in it or not, please just try to focus on the essence of the message that's coming through, okay? The rest of that is not of great importance right now. It's what is the message for you today. Okay, so it's saying there's a good chance that the ancient Egyptians were in touch with this divine race, as evidenced by the many Hathor pillars in the temple of Dendera. The Hathor appears as elongated pillars of infinite light, illustrating their capacity to bridge heaven and earth. Their divine mission is to activate light upon the earth. Interlinked with both the energy of the central sun and Venus, they bestow solar light blessings and ignite the energy of unconditional love within. When you receive this card, know that you're being ushered into great blessings. Okay. She literally, you can see this pillar here as well. Imagine yourself as a pillar of strength. Remind yourself that you are connected to infinite source power, and you are a pillar of strength in your own light, in your own right at least, sorry, and that you can pull that power back to you, and you have as much strength as anybody else does. You may have been in an unfortunate situation where you didn't believe that and someone took advantage of you, or they exerted strength or power over you at that time. But you can move to a different mindset now, and you can have a different experience. Okay, let's see, what else do we need to know this week, please? What else do we need to know? Any action we need to take? So this week is all about getting ourselves back into a position of power. Oh, here's an Ankh as well. Very much Egyptian energy coming through today. I've actually seen something earlier that was also very much Egyptian looking, and it does say that these are memories of Atlantis. Spiritual acceleration, progress, and technology. This is very much the era that we're living in right now, okay? And there is a clash between the old and the new in terms of old ways of thinking, new ways of thinking. The technology and everything that's becoming available to us is just mind-blowing and very surreal for some people. And I do believe that spiritual and technological progress are working together on some level. And if you're familiar with Archangel Metatron, he is said to be the consciousness that's come in at this time to merge the two and to help us to see how technology and spirituality can fit together. And Atlantis was very well known for using crystal power and this kind of thing. And then obviously there is the story of those that were in power abusing that power. All right, and we are very much seeing a similar scenario on Earth today of people who've had power and have abused that power, and people taking their power back. All right, so this is definitely an important theme. It's something we should be focused on. Memories of Atlantis also, you know, Atlantis was said to be a very progressive place, a place where there was a lot of peace. They did have this technology. They were, you know, way ahead of their time from our perspective anyway. And had all of these wonderful inventions and things available to them. And it was also a very peaceful, almost like idyllic kind of place. It was a utopia. And a lot of people see the world that we're currently in as very unfair, unjust, and it has been. And I feel like those things have the potential to change and shift now, because there's so many people that are exposing people that were in a position of power and abused it, and all of this kind of thing is happening. And it's very difficult when we do have these kind of memories, whether it is, if you believed you lived during the time of Atlantis, or you come from any other place, if you believe in the fact that you have reincarnated before and you could have been somewhere other than Earth, whatever your belief system is. This is basically saying there's something within us that knows that this wonderful, peaceful place exists. It might not be here, but we can also work towards it. People who believe in heaven or in some kind of afterlife, there's always something better. It always looks a bit nicer and brighter and shinier than where we are. All right. And through spiritual acceleration, that's exactly how we get there. So it is time to let go of heavy energies like this that hold you back, that keep you stuck where you are. You don't have to be stuck where you are. You can release yourself, and you're being reminded of that God-given right for you to have that power and to tap into that and be aware of that. So it's really telling us to tap into things that are making progress for us, that help us to grow and stimulate us, not holding on to the past. The past has passed. That's why it's called the past. Let it go. Embrace the moment of where you are now. Look at the potential for progress in the world and in your own life, and focus on that. All right. Instead of us getting down about, it used to be so nice. Embrace the progress, embrace the things that are coming into our lives in the most positive way. Support the way in which it's coming through in the most positive way. We can use new technology and stuff to change people's lives. We can 3D print cochlear implants for babies. Just because we're using technology doesn't mean it has to be evil. And there will always be this kind of fight between the positive and the negative. And the negative has been in power for too long, and now it's time for the scales to balance out. But we need to also have a part to play. We need to also reinforce that and to support the positives in all of these things. If we want that utopia, we need to make that happen. We need to be a part of it. We need to actively be doing something constructive. You can't say things should be like this and they should be like that when you're not actively trying to make a difference. And it doesn't mean that you have to become an activist or a politician or anything like that. But in every act that you do every day, you can help somebody. You can teach someone else to take their power back. You can interact with people in a positive way that can help them to get to this place. All right. And it's not necessarily going to look like this in our lifetime, but you can certainly be the person planting the seeds to make a better future for our children. All right. Let's see what else we need to know. Okay. Inner Earth, base chakra, strength and security. I was just going to say about protection, because the Ankh is very much used for protection. It has been for centuries by many different types of people. A lot of people wear it to this day for that purpose, as well as it having other purposes. But here you have Inner Earth. It's talking about your base chakra, which is your root chakra, okay, at the base of your spine. This does govern our strength and our security, and it's about laying our foundation for our future, which is just exactly what I was saying. All right, here they've got, it almost looks like a tree as well, with these pillars. Do you see the pillars get repeated? It's about building roots, building a foundation. This is like a new era that we're going into. And, they always talked about the age of Aquarius and going into all of these different ages, and we're actually in the throes of the age of Aquarius, or the beginning stages of it. And we need to make sure that we actively are a part of that, that we are instrumental in making the best future we can for our children, to, do the hard things, say the hard things, stand up for something or somebody when we need to, and most importantly for ourselves. All right, not to just let things slide if we know that what's going on is not right. And to take off those veils that have been on our eyes, where certain people are allowed to get away with certain things and it's just not okay, but we all pretend it is. This is about being honest with yourself, laying that foundation for the future. And the root chakra as well is very much associated with anything to do with earth energy. So it's about getting a job or the work that you do, things that are career-based, money-based, your house, your car, all of your material possessions, and how connected you also feel to your family. It's about the family tree and those kind of connections, your roots, where you put roots down, and as well as your roots, where you come from. And getting back to those traditional values that are so important that have been lost. Remembering to connect to people, remembering to have something where you can build something and leave a legacy, because I feel like that's also something that's been lost. You know, we live in a buy, use, and throw away society, and it's even permeated into how we treat people sometimes, which is shameful for us to say, but it's true. And the same thing is happening with, you know, not looking after the things we've been given. If we've been inherited land or a home or a car or just a piece of jewelry, you know, if we've inherited anything and somebody's worked their backside off to leave that for you one day, cherish it, look after it, see if you can do the same thing and leave it for the next person, because nothing's going to remain if we carry on the way that we are, if we keep making things out of junk and buying things that are junk. Cherish the things that you've been given, that people worked so hard for, that they had you in mind when they did them, or that when they worked that land, or they built that house, and see where you can also build something like this. Strength and security and laying a foundation. I really think we're going into a completely different era now. I think there's going to be a lot of discoveries made about us, our past, where we truly come from, you know, in terms of all of these different discoveries being made. They're digging up all kinds of archaeological sites and stuff that are showing us that we did have major technology way before this that we can't even replicate now. So I think there's going to be so much to discover, and I think we should not be afraid of what we discover, but be open-minded, know that we are protected. And maybe it's time for us to discover certain things about ourselves, and that we can step forward in a powerful way, and not in a way that we're afraid of everything. All right, know that your guides and your guardians are there. They are there to protect you. Your angels, your ancestors are there. They came before you. Whoever they were and however far back that goes, I feel like we're about to find out. Okay, and make sure that you're doing something worthwhile, that you're leaving a legacy as well. If it weren't for them leaving a legacy, we would not be at this point of discovery now. We would not have certain things we have now if people didn't invest in other people and invent things and create things and look after land. You know, we've lost the value that we should be placing on things. And we need to really reassess what value means to us and what we place value on. Okay, I hope that this speaks to you, and I wish you a beautiful week further. Please take care and lots of love. Bye for now.